Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's live stretch. Today we're going to be stretching our entire bodies. We're going to be melting away tension and releasing any tight muscles. It's going to feel really great. It's going to be relaxing. So I hope you enjoy. As always, we don't need equipment for this, but I do like to use a resistance band. This is a booty band, but you can use a long flat resistance band. For the hamstring stretch, if you don't have anything at all, you can use a belt or just your hands. That will work perfectly fine. Okay, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start off with some thoracic spine mobility moves. So I'm going to take a side view for this. I'm going to sit on my knees to begin with. If it's uncomfortable for you to sit on your knees, you can stand or you can be cross-legged. I'm going to interlace my fingers and just take them at the base of my skull. Elbows are nice and wide. We're going to stack the vertebra one on top of the other, sitting up nice and tall. And then we're going to really open the elbows and arch the spine. Good. Inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to round the spine, framing the face with the elbows, bringing the elbows close together. So inhale, we're opening, and exhale, curling and folding. So it's a kneeling version of a cat-cow. We're inhaling and exhaling as we curve and then extend the spine. Good. Inhale and exhale, really open through the chest. Good. Switch the pattern of your breathing now. Inhale. And then exhale to open. Inhale, round, bringing the elbows together. Exhale, open the elbows wide and extend the spine. Let's take two more. Separating the elbows wide. And last one, open the elbows wide, bring the spine back into neutral and lower the hands by your side. Amazing work. Now, I'd like you to turn facing me if you aren't already. And we're going to go into more thoracic spine mobility here. We're going to bring the arms up, reach tall through those fingers. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Bring the right fingertips down to the mat and twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, opposite side, right hand comes down to left knee, and we twist. Good, keep moving. Take a couple more of those on the breath. Rotating a little bit more each time, keeping the spine nice and tall, keeping the chin parallel with the floor. So after a long day of sitting at a desk or driving in a car or being relatively immobile, it's a great idea to stretch and mobilize the thoracic spine. It's an area of the spine that can become very stiff. And when it becomes stiff, sometimes we have a bit of a tendency to overuse the low back. Let's come back to center. From here, we're going to bring the left foot in toward the right inner thigh, reach the arms up, stack the vertebra, and fold over to the right side. Stretching and lengthening. Try to keep your left bum cheek down on the mat. You can take a hold of your foot, or if you can't reach your foot, place your hands on your thigh or your shin. Reach a bit further, lengthening through the side body for 3 and 2 and 1. Back to center. Now we're going to switch legs. Right foot comes in toward left inner thigh. Reach up, lengthen, inhale, and exhale, fold over, keeping the right hip down as we get a nice deep stretch through the side body, up the back of the leg. Breathing deeply here. Letting the head relax, letting the neck relax. Holding it and then folding a little bit more deeply into your stretch for 3 and 2 and 1. Amazing work. Bring it back up. We're gonna cross our legs here. Make sure you have space in front of you. Make sure you're even on your hips. We're going to start to plant the fingertips down into the mat. Fingers are spread. I'd like you to sit up really nice and tall and then hinge from the hips. And as you hinge, we're gonna start walking those fingertips forward, stretching the spine, bringing the chest down toward the floor. So forehead is facing down toward the floor, gaze is down on the floor, shoulders are rolled down away from your ears, and I want you to really stretch and elongate through the spine. Breathe into this one, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Imagine drawing your tailbone back toward the wall behind you, so you're really stretching the spine in opposite directions. For 3, for 2, lengthening through that tailbone, and 1. Amazing work. Walk your hands back up, and from here, we're going to plant both palms down on the mat, coming into an all fours position. Spine is in neutral. We're going to step the right foot between the hands and straighten that left leg out nice and long behind. We're going to interlace the fingers, take them onto the right thigh, sitting up nice and tall, stretching into that left hip flexor. Breathing here. This one feels really good. Gently pushing that left hip forward as we sink a little bit more deeply into the stretch. And if you feel comfortable to do so, I'd like you to drop your right hand down to the floor, fingertips pressing into the mat. Lift your left hand up, reach and stretch, and just slightly bend over to that right side. Feeling the stretch deepening in that hip flexor, feeling a nice side body lengthening for 3 and 2 and 1. Lower the hand down to the floor. Step the right knee back, left foot comes between the hands. Straighten that right leg out long. Interlace your fingers, place them on your thigh. And again, gently pushing that right hip forward. Not to a point of pain, but just to a point where you can really feel that stretch in here. Nice work. Breathe into it, sink a little bit more deeply into the stretch, bending in the knee. And then if you have the ability to do so, lower your left hand down and then reach and stretch up and over. Breathing deeply here, in through the nose and out through the mouth, keeping that neck nice and relaxed. For 3, reach a bit further, and 2, and 1. Lower hand down to the mat. Bring both knees down onto the floor. From here, we're going to bring the feet forward. And I'm just going to take my band with me because we're going to be using it in a moment. If you're using a band, we're going to sit up nice and tall, stacking the vertebra, legs are straight. I want you to reach up toward the ceiling, lengthen, deep inhale. And as you exhale, fold over the lower body, grabbing hold of your feet if you can reach, otherwise holding on to your calves or your thighs, dropping the crown of your head and feeling the back body stretch. Run all the way up the backs of your legs, stretching out the lower back, stretching out the middle back. Take a deep inhale in through the nose, and as you exhale, fold over the lower body a little bit more, deepening your stretch. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Ripple up through the spine. If you're using a band, I would like you to place it under the right foot. If you're not using a band, you're going to hold on to your calf or your thigh, never behind the knee though. You could hurt your joint. We're going to either have the left leg extended like so, or you can have it bent, whatever gives you a greater range of mobility here with this stretch. We're going to fully straighten that right leg, pulling the toes slightly back toward the shin, and just hold here. I want you to find that point where the leg is straight and you can feel a deep stretch. It should feel slightly uncomfortable because this is a huge group of muscles to be stretching, and these muscles often get tight. Good. The important thing here is that we're holding in a static stretch. We're never bouncing. Again, that can be hard on the joint. If you want to ease more deeply into the stretch, you're going to inhale. And as you exhale, you're just gently pulling that leg in a little bit closer towards you, and then holding at that new point of maximum stretch as those muscles start to warm up. Good. Inhale. And as you exhale, draw the leg a little closer towards you if you can for your final 10 seconds. Doing wonders for your body by stretching out your hamstrings here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend at the knee. Gently release the stretch. And now place the band on the bottom of your foot, or place your hands around your calf or thigh. And we're just going to draw that left leg in. You're probably going to notice that one side is more flexible than the other. Just work within your range of movement. Good. Gently pulling the toes back toward the shin to deepen the stretch. Good. Pull it back a little closer on your next exhale. Building that flexibility, pushing that range of flexibility that little bit further. Elongating your hamstrings can help alleviate lower back problems, help alleviate knee pain, because tight hamstrings can really pull other areas of your body out of whack, including your pelvic position, which has knock-on effects. So keep your hamstrings strong and stretched. Let's ease in a little bit more deeply into it for 10 and 9 and 8. Hold it here. Keep breathing. 3 and 2 and 1. Amazing work. Release the stretch. Place the band off to the side and roll yourself up gently into a seated position. From here, we're going to bring the feet together. I will turn it and face you. Bring the feet together and just grip onto your ankles. And I want you to take a moment here to just use that pressure of your hands into your ankles to sit up really nice and tall. Stacking each individual vertebra, chin is parallel with the floor, and then just butterfly your legs, trying to bring your knees a little bit closer to the mat. Deep inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge from the hips and just gently start to fold over the thighs. Good. Again, gently drawing the knees down. If you'd like to release your ankles and just place your hands on your thighs, just below your knees, and apply just a little bit of pressure. Keep your neck long. Again, not to the point of pain, but just to really get a bit deeper into the stretch. Let's hold it here for 10, for 9, and 8. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it up. Nicely done. From here, we're going to get back into our all fours position. We're going to walk our hands out a little bit further in front of us on the mat. We're going to curl the toes and push the hips up toward the ceiling. Really taking a moment here to flatten out the upper back. So your aim here is to really stretch and elongate through that upper back. We want to gently invite our heels down to the mat, but don't worry if they don't touch. And if you need to bend your knees to get that lengthening in the spine, then do so. From here, we're going to start slowly pedaling, bringing alternating
heels down to the mat, and as we do so, we're going to look out, turning the head from side to side, gently stretching the neck. Keep those hips elevated, belly is scooped in. Inhaling and exhaling. We've got 4 and 3. Let your head hang between your shoulders. 2 and 1. Level out the heels. Lift the hips a bit higher. Now gently drop your knees down to the mat. When they touch down, take them nice and wide, bringing the big toes together. Walk your hands out a little bit further in front of you. And drop your forehead gently down to the mat, keeping the hips elevated. Make any little adjustments that you need to in your puppy pose. Gently draw your armpits down toward the floor, getting a nice shoulder stretch. And again, really lengthening out through that tailbone. So imagine you're stretching your spine in opposite directions, lengthening out through the neck and out through the tailbone. Hold it for 5. For 4, breathing deeply. And 1. Slowly walk your hands back towards your knees, coming into a kneeling position. We're going to inhale, lift our shoulders up by our ears, and exhale, roll them down and back. Let's take 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, melt those shoulders down and back. And last one. And we are done. I'm feeling a lot better after stretching my whole body, and I hope you are too. Thank you for joining me for this evening stretch. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your night, and I will see you again next week. Bye. Have a good night.